Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Bombas. Bombas is a comfort-focused premium basics brand with a mission to help those in need. One purchase equals one donated, and with the help of Bombas customers, Bombas has been able to donate over 150 million items to those in need. So I discovered Bombas years ago when I was researching long-lasting, comfortable socks, and I've loved them ever since. I love how they feel. They're super squishy and comfortable, but most importantly, they fit me really well. And I really like this band that goes right across your arch and gives you lots of support. There's no seam on the toe, so again, that's super comfortable. They're squishy. These are the merino wool blends, which I love so much because they're not scratchy, but they're super warm. So besides being super cute, comfortable, and having great quality, what I really love about Bombas is that they completely are behind their product. They have a 100% happiness guarantee. For whatever reason you're not happy with your Bombas socks, there are free returns, free exchanges, 100% happiness guarantee for any reason. I love that. I love when companies stand behind their products. And now Bombas is offering international shipping, including the US, to over 200 countries. So if you'd like to try Bombas for yourself, new customers can receive 20% off. You can just click the link down below or head over to bombas.com/emmymade and use my code emmymade. Big thanks to Bombas for sponsoring this video and for their continued support so I can make better videos for all of you. Alrighty, my lovelies, today we're going to be doing another Costco taste test. If you've missed my previous episodes, I will direct you to the playlist where I've tasted food court food with my brother, some other to-go foods, and the Costco bakery. Today I'm going to be tasting a selection of their prepared foods that you simply just have to cook or reheat. This is Costco sushi. In my last episode, I tried Costco poke, and I also tried a maki sushi roll. Today, I'm going to be tasting their nigiri. Nigiri is a piece of raw fish on a molded little piece of rice. So the fish is right on top rather than being rolled in nori or just rolled up and then sliced. And there's tuna, hamachi, and salmon. 12 pieces for $20.32. Soy sauce and some ginger as well. To me, these look a little bit larger than what you would get at the supermarket. It smells very fresh, doesn't smell fishy at all. So let's go ahead and give the tuna. There it is. Itadakimasu. Oops. The fish is delicious. It's sweet and fresh and has no hint of fishy flavor whatsoever. The rice is a little dry. Pretty on par to what you buy at the supermarket, but I feel like the fish is a little bit better quality. Now this one is my favorite. This is the salmon. And yes, if you look at the rice, it is shaped kind of like a half football. See how it's flattened? You can tell that it's been pressed into some kind of mold rather than being hand shaped. And this little edge here is what I'm talking about. It's a little dry. Salmon is delicious. Nice and fatty, lovely, rich salmon flavor. Again, very fresh. But again, the rice is a little bit dry. It should be stickier and bouncier and soft. So this one is the hamachi. This one looks a little dry too. The actual fish looks a little dry. I feel like the portion of fish relative to the size of rice is more proportionate in the hamachi compared to the salmon and the tuna. The other pieces feel a little bit too large relative to the amount of rice. That one too is very fresh and delicious. Again, the favorite one for me is the salmon. I would just have an entire plate of the salmon one because that one's my favorite. So in my last Costco video, I talked a little bit about how different regions, depending on where your Costco is located, will offer different items based on their clientele, which I think makes total sense. So for example, Costco in Honolulu will offer seaweed in bulk, or fresh poke, or arare crackers, because that's what their clientele want, and therefore they offer. And my Costco, based in Sharon, Massachusetts, also offers Asian treats, but lots of Korean treats. And this is Korean barbecue, and this is beef bulgogi, And this is just marinated beef in Bulgolgi sauce, and so it needs to be cooked. This is $6.99 a pound. This is 3.2 pounds. So this is $22.37. And this is a inexpensive grill that you can buy at a Korean grocer. And you place it on one of these butane portable stoves. And you do this outside or over some good ventilation because it gets quite smoky, but it's super fun to do as a group. Everyone gets to cook their little piece of meat and then add it to their rice bowl and seaweed and kimchi. This is sliced very thinly and it takes no time to cook whatsoever. You can also just do this in a skillet. And I think that's what's instructed on the lid, but I have this griddle, so why not do it this way? Look at that. Ooh, caramelized gorgeousness. So typically you would eat this with some rice, wrap it up in seaweed, and have some kimchi. So good. But let's just have it straight up. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Very well seasoned. It's been swimming around in that sauce. Sweet, savory, soy saucy. Really needs a little bit of kimchi. A little pickle, acidity, spice, heat. You could add some gochugaru to it, some chili powder if you like to make it a little bit spicier, but very, 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 very tender. A little bit of thinly sliced cucumber would be nice too for some crunch, but delicious. This was recommended by a few of you in the comments of my last video. Meatloaf with mashed Yukon potatoes. Look at that. Mashed potatoes on one side and meatloaf on the other. Look at that. In terms of rewarming, it recommends, I guess you can just rewarm in this plastic, which I don't love, but I could transfer this to another container. And it just says to cover tightly with foil, place on a sheet tray in the center of a rack and bake for 60 to 70 minutes until 185 in the middle at 375 degrees. So, gosh, I don't remember the last time I had meatloaf. So American meatloaf is meat loaf, kind of like a big meatball. I'm curious to see if these are true mashed potatoes or if they taste like instant mashed potatoes. Meatloaf, don't let your meat loaf. We're steaming, everything's steaming. And I have to say, I like the fresh parsley on the potatoes. Pretty good. Very tender. I was expecting like a big rubbery meatball, but it's not. Made of ground beef and maybe some ground pork. Seasoned well with Italian seasonings. And then has a sweet ketchup-y sauce on top. That goes really well. Mashed potatoes. Something about warmed up, reheated mashed potatoes are like meh, you know what I mean? They don't taste like instant mashed potatoes though. There's a little bit of butter in there. The texture makes me think that they're mashed with milk rather than with cream. What does it say? Alright, I was right. Milk, butter, salt. I would get that one again. But my kids have never had meatloaf. I'm curious to see what they think about it. The next item I have is not from the prepared foods aisle. It was just something on an end cap, something I've never seen before. It's by the Snack Yard, and they're ready to eat quail eggs. It looks like a century egg, and this looks like a salted egg, but it says salt baked and stewed, boiled, peeled, and marinated. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is a handful of quail eggs. Curious, look at that. But they're individually wrapped quail eggs. So that must be the salt baked, which doesn't look like that. And this one is the stewed. So we just open it like this. Whoa. And there it is. It looks like a caramel or something. It's kind of on the half shell somehow because it's been like shrink wrapped. In terms of texture, it's a little bit firmer and rubbier, particularly the white part of the egg. The middle part has the same texture as a regular chicken hard-boiled egg. The flavor is 5-spice. A little bit of sugar, soy sauce, and the predominant flavor of 5-spice for me right now is kind of an anise flavor, but pretty good. Cute little snack. Let's try the stewed one. Look at that. Look at the dark color on that. This is not going to be like a century egg. So this too has a similar texture for the egg white. Pretty firm, almost snappy. And the yolk is very creamy and soft, just like a regular chicken hard-boiled egg. And this one has a similar kind of 5-spice flavor, but it's a little bit sweeter. Sweet and soy sauce. Tasty. If you like soy sauce eggs or tea eggs, which are eggs that have been hard-boiled, typically chicken eggs, and then soaked in a soy sauce or shoyu brine, delicious. These have a slight little 5-spice flavor to them, but love the cute little snack size. So stinking tiny. You could just add this to your rice bowl, a little extra added protein. Don't have to do anything. They're pre-cooked, shelf stable. Keep them in your pantry. What a concept. And for my last trick, let's taste this. This actually came out of the bakery, but after tasting the chocolate mousse cake that I had last time, the tuxedo chocolate cake, I knew I had to try this. This was also recommended by a few of my lovelies. This is the caramel tres leches cake. Tres leches means 3 milks. So 3 different types of milk: condensed milk, cream, milk. And this is priced at $17.99. Look at the size of that cake. See the layers? Oh my gosh. After this cake is baked, it's usually punctured with a bunch of holes, and a mixture of sweetened milk is poured on top so that it can be absorbed into the cake, making for a very moist and rich cake. So this has caramel on top, 2 layers of cake, and then 2 layers of cream. Ooh. The cake is very, very moist, but not soggy. There's a nice vanilla kind of bourbony rum flavor to it, and the cream layer is lovely. It reminds me a little bit of tiramisu, but there's no coffee flavor. But that whipped kind of mascarpone texture, kind of similar. This is a little lighter, a little bit more whipped creamy, but so good. Oh yeah, this is a winner. And then you have a really thin caramel layer on top, which gives it a little kind of burnt sugary flavor, brown sugary. And then chocolate flakes on top. Wow, I might like this one more than the chocolate. Dude, is that possible? Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it. Yet another Costco ready-made foods taste test, and I would buy them all again. They were all delicious. This cake, phenomenal. Thanks so much for watching, and big thanks to Bombas for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to get 20% off your Bombas purchase, you can click the link down below or head over to bombas.com/emmymade and use my code emmymade. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Cake for dinner! Cake for dinner!